What's up, y'all? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. Yesterday, I didn't do anything, so not up, not down, just skip. You get involved yesterday.
I did. I split. We had one good one that we left here for the show. The Orlando team total over. They got to 132 pretty easily. The one that went wrong was Phoenix Dallas over 231 and a half. Only found their way to 219. So we split. I mean, not the worst thing in the world, but we'll look to do better today.
All right, we have 5 games to try to do it. We will start at the top. Today's show will probably be a little faster, a little different than usual, but we'll get it done. Bulls in Washington opened up 5.5. Looks like 6 or 6.5. Total is up from 242.5 as high as 247. Man, this injury report, it'll take me all day to read this. I mean, who's even playing in this game? That's what I'm looking at. And I really don't want, I can't back the Wizards. I mean, it's hard to back either team. Maybe we have to look at, maybe it's just an under game. This game is probably the worst game of the day. Is there anything we have on Bulls and Wizards?
They just played this same game on Tuesday night in the same building, and Chicago, destroyed them 129-98, kind of demonstrating that Washington doesn't want to win, as if we didn't know that already, but they really didn't want to win. Then the announcements of who's out tonight um, makes it even worse. I just think they're trying to protect that worst record overall, Skee. So in no way, shape, or form could I be behind Washington. Not sure that I want the Bulls either, but they did win by 31 the other night against this team. So maybe two different mentalities in that game.
Yeah, we do have a couple of, meaningful or good games, and this is just not one of them. I wouldn't bet this with your money, Rob.
Hmm. I
I'm going to move
appreciate
on.
that.
I might bet it with somebody else's money, though. I'm not going to say who.
Well,
All right. He didn't rap. My bad. I forgot. We got to keep the laughing to a minimum today. He didn't Raptors opened up -4. Looks like 3.5 or 4 still right now. Total right around the opener. Smith questionable. Jovic out. Jackson Davis out. Hepburn out for Toronto. I mean, Toronto does still need to win games. I mean, trying to avoid that playing. I feel like Miami is locked in to their seed already. I could be mistaken, but I have to think that the Raptors get the job done again here at the house. I don't see much changing from the last game, other than the Heat shot pretty poor from three. Will they shoot it better here tonight? We shall see. If they do, then you get a discount on the total. Are you looking at it from that direction, Rob?
I was specifically looking at it from Miami's angle of team total, but then I ran into the trend, Ski, that Miami's been held under 106 times this season, and three of them are by Toronto. And so maybe that's just a thing where they can't score on these guys. When Norman Powell announced that he would play tonight, I thought, well, I'll probably try Miami team total over 116 and a half. Seems reasonable. But that individual matchup against Toronto where they haven't been able to score somewhat halts the brakes for me. I still think I would trust Miami to score a lot better than they did the other night. Those shooting numbers that you mentioned were disgusting by the Heat. Bam, I think, was 2 of 13. The whole team was terrible from the field, from 3-point range. I'd expect better. I think that you could probably look maybe toward full game total because I don't know that Miami can stop anybody at this point in time. I did read, Ski, that they can, if everything breaks their way, they could finish as high as seventh. But that kind of means everybody ahead of them has to lose all their games and they have to win theirs. I don't know that that'll happen. So I still have it on my short list, maybe a little Miami team total over. But, I gave you the reason why I'm hesitant on that.
Yeah, so I guess I was mistaken. They're 1.5 games behind Charlotte. So, I mean, still something to play for both of these teams. But I do think Miami can shoot a little bit better here. Maybe that over is the way to go in this game. Next, we'll go to Celtics and Knicks. This one opened up -1 for the New York Knicks. Now 5.5 or 5, depending where you shop. total down from 217 as low as 212. And it's got to be injury report. Kate is questionable. Jalen Brown is out. Derek White is questionable. For New York, Kolick is questionable off the bench. I mean, this is a much more meaningful game for New York, right? They're still trying to stay ahead of Cleveland. I don't think that, I mean, they can catch the Celtics, but the Celtics really just need to win one more game to be cemented into that second seed. And, they could save their energy for the Pelicans in their next game. That's kind of what it's looking like when I see the injury report the way it is for Boston. I would think that New York can get the win and cover here. How do you see it?
Well, Derek White, I read, participated in shoot arounds, so I'd expect he'll play. New York's had pretty good success against Boston. I mean, relatively good success, right? They've beat them a couple of times this year, so it's not like the Knicks don't come to play when it's against the Celtics. I don't think either of those games had Jason Tatum involved, but certainly they did have Jalen Brown involved. So I guess you could switch one out for the other. Tough game for me because I do think the Knicks should win this one, Skee. But to win by 6, I just don't think Boston will lay down here against New York. They're probably going to wind up in the same bracket in the playoffs. I'm not so sure Boston wants to give New York anything that they can feed off of in case of a matchup down the line here. So kind of tough for me because I do think New York will win the game. They've got a little more to play for, but I don't know that they can win it by 6.
Maybe we look at an under here. Glenn is saying the Celtics on the road versus competition, 13-3 to the under. Mark also liking the under there. I mean, I could see it, especially if you get these. I mean, you're getting these rollouts for Boston. So I could understand that. I look towards the under. Keep it going here. Pacers and Nets. And this is the one, I mean, I don't think anybody's trying to win. As it stands right now, I believe they're all in the bottom 3, which means they have a high, probability to get those good picks. Neither one of them really wants to win games, especially not Brooklyn. So I can understand why the Pacers, are favorite, but how do we nobody wants to win. How do we bet aside here?
Yeah, it's funny because even if the Pacers were lucky enough to lose out, which they could do on purpose, and miraculously have Washington win a game so that they ended up in a tie, it doesn't even go to head, Skee. The tiebreaker is something really like I think I read the tiebreaker is, well, you both just split ping pong balls evenly, and that's how that goes. So I don't know that it benefits Indiana any to lose. They can't move up if they win. They're still 2 games behind Brooklyn. So I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know which side wants it more. Indiana, I think Brooklyn just one of them just won a game. I forget, but again, it's hard to decipher who wants to play, who doesn't want to play. I think over could be a good bet here because I think it's one of those, open runs at the gym between these two. Indiana, for what it's worth, over the course of their last 5 is giving up 123 a game. So Brooklyn, who generally doesn't score a lot of points, might be able to score a bunch here, but that lineup that they're putting on the floor is, I don't know. You told me you wouldn't bet the other game with my money. I won't bet this one with your money, so I'll return the favor.
Thank you. I much appreciate it. We'll stay far, far away from this one. Next, we have 76ers and Rockets. And this one opened 3.5. Now we're looking at 5.5 or 6 total around the opener. But Embiid has been rolled out. Campaign is out. Broom is out. For the Rockets, Tari Eason is questionable. Um, I was looking at when these teams play, they're usually high scoring games. Like they played once earlier this season, right? 122 to 128. I mean, I'm looking at just the history. I mean, every game is getting to the 230s, or at least clearing the number that we're looking at today. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least the last 7. I haven't gone farther than that. Like maybe when these two teams play, it's just a certain style of basketball. I like to think without Embiid, they probably get up and down the court more for the Sixers. I don't know. I think when these two teams line up, like I said, it just translates to overs. And I don't want to be laying with the Rockets. I still think, even though Embiid's not playing, very meaningful game for the Sixers too. I would probably grab them plus the points or bet the game over. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you on the over here, Ski. Houston played pretty good offense the other night against Phoenix. I know it's a game that both you and I kind of, hate Phoenix for, going on that 24 to nothing run to start the game and then actually losing by 14. But the Rockets really played good offense in that game. And Şengün should have a good night here in the middle without Embiid there. And to your point, the Sixers, I've mentioned it before, they're just a fast team without Embiid in the lineup. Maxey and Edgecombe and Grimes and all these guys, they'll go quick now when they don't have to consider Joel as an option inside that offense. So to me, I think the history that you mentioned, I think the matchup in general, the way Houston's played offense as of late probably suggests it gets over 226.5. We're probably getting a break here, but not much of one. I mean, the announcement of Embiid out in this game didn't really draw the total down very much at all. And maybe that's a signal as well. But I think over 226.5 is probably a good play here.
All right, we're in agreement on this one. So probably look towards getting to the window. I was I'll double check while we get to the next game. I just want to see exactly what the 76ers look like without Embiid. But Lakers and Warriors opened up 4.5 total, side and total around the opener. Marcus Smart is questionable. There will be no Luca, Jackson Hayes, or Austin Reeves. For the Warriors, Will Richard, Quentin Post, Porzingis, Horford, all out. Santos, Steph. Is that Steph? Yes, Steph, both questionable. LJ Cryer and Bassie, both probable. One of the last Steph versus LeBron, I think they'll want to put on a show at the very least. That makes me think that we'll get points in this game. Probably an over for me. What you got?
It's the one I bet out of all six tonight. It's the one I bet, and I bet over. Warriors, again, so small with none of their centers involved here. Again, none of their bigs. So we'll expect pace with Draymond playing the center spot. LeBron back in the lineup tonight. Probably just didn't want to get embarrassed by being in the lineup against OKC the other night. But here, I think he contributes offensively. LA had such a poor night on the offensive end against OKC. This is a major step down in class defensively for them. So to me, 225.5 look like a bargain. I could see this thing getting 230 or better. So I did. I bet the over. I like it that way.
All right, good stuff. That will wrap up the card for today. And yeah, let's go ahead and get the promos going. We do still have the usual buy three, get three free. Comes out to just 6 days for $69. If you want to be involved longer, we have the all-in ultimate all access pass. You get a full year, comes out to under $4 per day, and you'll also get a 25% bonus coupon. You can choose either one of Rob Veno or myself for the rest of the playoffs and regular season for only $199, or you can get both for an extra $49. And I think this is the best way to go. So a lot of different ways to get involved. Vino, I once again am not going to leave a best bet for the show, but if you have anything else you would like to promote, feel free. And if you have a best bet, we'd love to hear it. If you don't, all good.
Yeah, play and start next week. So line up now for that playoff package. I'll just echo what you said. Probably if you're going to purchase combining forces with me and Skee, the best way to go for the price. I did yesterday. I'll leave another one today because I bet it. And it's the last game we just talked about. Lakers Golden State over 225.5. Gave the reasons why. Just think this will be somewhere up in the 230 range. So for me, Skee, best bet for the show today. Lakers Golden State over 225.5.
All right, good stuff. Vino, I always appreciate you taking the time to break these games down with me. Chat, we appreciate you all tapping in. Best of luck, everybody, on all your action, and we will be back again tomorrow.